What he didn't know was that Jules was having a rough day. The company had grown too fast, and the investors wanted to bring in a new CEO, someone to take some of the weight off her shoulders. But to Jules, this felt like handing over the company she had built from scratch. She didn't want help. She didn't want to share control. Still, deep down, she knew she was burning out. She didn't have much of a choice. As the conversation played out in her office, Ben came in quietly to pick up the laundry. He didn't say a word, didn't ask any questions. He just took the bag and walked out. Later, the secretary asked what had happened inside. Ben simply said, "I didn't hear anything." Bad ears. He'd been in the business world long enough to know when to speak and when to stay silent. That moment gave him a new perspective on Jules. Beneath her tough exterior, there was someone vulnerable, someone doing her best. Ben decided to help however he could. There was a cluttered table in the office, where everyone dumped random stuff. It had become a total mess. One of Jules's biggest pet peeves. The next morning, when she arrived at work, the table was spotless. Turns out, Ben had come in at 7 a.m. to clean it himself. Jules was genuinely moved. She praised Ben in front of everyone. The team gave him a round of applause. With his charm and experience, Ben had earned their respect. But things didn't stay smooth for long. One morning, Ben went to pick up Jules like usual. He rang the bell, then turned to wait by the car. To his surprise, Jules's husband opened the door and warmly invited him in for coffee. Ben politely declined at first, but the man insisted, so Ben stepped inside. There, he met Jules's daughter. It was their first meeting, but the little girl immediately liked him. When Jules saw Ben in her home, she was shocked. She valued her privacy, and to her, this felt like a line had been crossed. She didn't say anything, but on the ride to work, she sent a text to HR. She asked them to reassign Ben. She felt he could read her too easily, that he saw through her in ways others didn't. But to Ben, she was just his boss, and someone he genuinely admired. He respected her drive. He appreciated her passion. She even went to the warehouse, just to supervise something as small as packaging. Maybe that's why she had succeeded. One night, Jules stayed late at the office. When she finally looked up, Ben was still at his desk. She realized he was waiting for her, so she grabbed some food and shared it with him. It was the first time they had a real conversation. Ben told her he used to work in a printing factory. Suddenly, Jules remembered, this building used to be a printing factory. That's when she realized this company now stood in the exact place where Ben had spent 40 years of his life. This wasn't just a job to him, it was home. After all that time, he'd returned, this time as the intern. That night, Jules felt something shift. Ben's stories were funny, thoughtful, and full of heart. For the first time, she fell asleep in the car, completely at ease. It was a sign of trust. The next morning, Jules headed to work in high spirits, but as soon as she got in the car, she realized something was off. There was a different driver. Only then did she remember. She had reassigned Ben. Regret hit her immediately. The new driver didn't know the route. He almost caused an accident. Eventually, Jules had to drive herself. Once she got to the office, her first thought was to find Ben, apologize, and bring him back. But Ben wasn't there. She asked around, looking for him everywhere, and that's when she uncovered a secret that would change her life forever. Want to know what happens next? Follow me. I'll tell you the rest of the story very soon.